Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. Right now you're watching our in-depth video review of the Kyocera Hydro Edge. It's available right now through Sprint for a 2-year contract price of free, and it's very unique just because it features IP57 certification, so it's both dustproof and also water resistant, and as you can tell, I have it underwater right now. The design's nothing worth writing home about. It looks just similar to any other of the Kyocera ruggedized smartphones we've checked out in the past. Now it's worth noting that this one here is IP57 certified, so it's both dustproof and waterproof. Decent amount of construction with it. It's mostly employing this very sturdy plastic casing combined with this rubbery back material. It gives it a nice good grip in the hand. It's pretty compact by today's standards and also lightweight for something that's semi-rugged. Sadly, the display on here is low quality in every way manageable. It's a 4-inch WVGA impact-resistant touchscreen, so it's 480 by 800 pixels. Not necessarily the strongest when it comes to detail, so for things like the web browser, there's going to be a lot of pinch zooming needed to actually view something perfectly. On top of that, when you combine its weak viewing angles and its low brightness output, not necessarily the best thing for outdoor visibility. On top of that, its color reproduction is rather bland, so it looks washed out at times. Now, the panel itself, even though it's mentioned to be impact resistant, it has a very plasticky feel to it and doesn't do a good job when it comes to masking smudges or fingerprints. If you look closely, you'll notice that the Hydro Edge lacks a traditional front-facing camera. At the same time, it's missing the earpiece notch right there. That's because it employs the Smart Sonic receiver tissue conduction technology. Meanwhile, below the display, you have your traditional trio of Android capacitor buttons. You have the back, home, and menu keys. Taking a peek around its trim, we have a physical shutter key on the right side. On the top edge, we have dedicated power button, a little bit on the flat side, along with the 3.5mm headset jack. The left edge is home to just the volume control, and the bottom, of course, you have the micro USB port for charging data connectivity. Now, it's a little bit strange that they don't cover the headset jack or the micro USB port, just because it is waterproof, so you can dunk it underwater. So it kind of makes you wonder about its long-term functionality. And finally, in the rear of the phone, we have just a 5-megapixel autofocus camera, which has the ability to shoot 720p videos with an LED flash. Nearby, we have, looks like a directional microphone along with the speaker grill. And towards the bottom edge here, we have the latch, which allows the back casing to be watertight. Now, the Kyocera Hydro Edge is IP57 certified, meaning it's dustproof and waterproof. It's semi-rugged, not fully rugged, just because of the design, so you really can't drop and expect it to withstand some of that. But when it comes to dust and water, it's going to be able to actually withstand them. Now, with the waterproof aspect of the handset, it could be submerged up to 3.28 feet of water for 30 minutes. So a quick little demo of that, so you could have it fully submerged. Now, the crazy part is that the micro USB port and the 3.5mm headset jack are fully exposed, so that kind of makes us a little bit leery about its long-term usage, whether or not that's going to fail. But as you can tell, it's still playing a song. And the other cool thing is that just because it has a physical shutter key, you could still take photos underwater. There's nothing really out of the ordinary here with the experience on the handset. It's running a customized version of Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. You can see that right away at the notifications panel. It's nice that you have some quick connectivity functions right up top. And the lock screen, they go take a different route. So basically you flick your finger towards one side to access different things, whether it be the messaging, the phone book, or just simply unlocking the handset. The app panel laid in your traditional grid-like view, and you have all the personalization aspects you'd come to expect out of Android. And of course, being a Kyocera device, you have some customizations in the form of specific widgets. However, there are a couple of apps that are worth noting. First one here is going to be the Eco Mode application, which essentially allows the handset to optimize the battery life even more depending on the settings here. And the other one is the Ice application, which gives us emergency contacts right in the tip of our fingers. I don't expect to find the latest hardware here. It's basically outdated with its dual-core 1GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor with 1GB of RAM. And honestly, it shows its age just because simple tasks like, for example, opening up applications, launching them, even pressing the home button to get back to the home screen, you just notice a delay. And at times it can become sluggish with different operations. For example, if you're doing pinch zooming and there's a lot of stuff going on in the web browser, it tends to slow down. So it's not particularly the fastest thing out there. The sluggish nature of its processor also shows in other things like the messaging experience. Now the keyboard's a little bit cramped just because of the size of the screen, but if you're speed typing, every now and then we notice just a little bit of delay and even some slow movements with the keyboard, so it kind of hinders us when it comes to typing stuff up. Surfing the web is seriously a test in patience here with the Kyocera Hydro Edge just because of its slower 3G data connectivity and the sluggish processor. So we have two options available to us. We have either the stock web browser or we could use Google Chrome, but the two exhibit the same flaws. Basically, it takes a long time for pages to load up, and on top of that, it just exhibits some very unresponsive movements at times. And seeing that its display is rather poor in quality, we have to do a lot of pinch zooming just to make out some details. On one hand, we'll say that the handset's able to play 720p videos rather well. There's a smooth playback with it. It doesn't support 1080p videos, unfortunately. The other thing is just the poor quality display. It just doesn't make for a great experience. Colors are bland and the viewing angles are weak, so it doesn't particularly come out to be the best thing to watch videos on. When it comes to taking photos, you have a 5 megapixel autofocus camera here with the smartphone, but the quality is more than abysmal. The camera UI, nothing really extensive with it. It's pretty basic. You have some manual controls and some shooting modes at our disposal, but beyond that, the quality is pretty much a miss in every front. Super grainy, washed out tones, and lower lighting, you could pretty much forget about the quality too. Likewise, we could say the same thing about the video recording quality. Now, it's only able to shoot up to 720p video, and it might look nice on the phone, but when we took a look on the computer, again, the same dismal results occur. Basically, it's very weak with its details. The exposure is rather jittery and a lot of artifacting when you're moving very quickly, so you're pretty much gonna wanna stay away from shooting any videos with this. We pointed out earlier on in the review, you're not going to find your traditional earpiece here. Instead, it's most notable for utilizing this smart sonic receiver tissue conduction technology, which is pretty unique. Now, the great thing about that is that even in noisy environments, we're able to hear our calls relatively clear thanks to the technology it employs. And on top of that, let's say you're going to wear some headphones, or if it's cold outside, you're going to want to wear some earmuffs, you can still hear the voices through it. Now, as far as call quality, voices tend to have a little bit of robotic tone through the handset, and the same thing we hear with the speakerphone, but our callers complain most about how it picks up a lot of background noise because it lacks noise cancellation technology. And finally, we're not too particularly impressed with the battery life of the handset. Now, with its 1600 milliamp hour battery, we only get a day, which is pretty much average in this day and age. So it's pretty cool that you could actually use the Kyocera Hydro Edge underwater. You could take photos and videos with it specifically. But beyond that, it's a really tough sell, even at free for a 2-year contract. There are some compromises you're going to be making with this device. For starters, it's just a low quality display on there. On top of that, the camera quality is rather lacking. And finally, it's just very sluggish, so it's going to take some time to get stuff done with the handset. There might be some better options out there for you. So if you guys want to learn more about this handset, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.